All right. So, hi everyone. This is Sonia. In my last session, in my last live, I told everyone that we will bring to you a series of conversations, candid conversations, and interviews with moms to bring to you a mom's perspective. We would not like to start our series with any experts, any advices for you, or any of that. But what we wanted to bring to you was candid conversations, insights into everybody's lives, how we are dealing up with challenges in this pandemic, what a mom's life look like with homeschooling, juggling with work at the same time, with kids hopping around in between, and how is it that different moms are coping up. So in that series with Mom's Perspective, today we are starting off our first interview and our first live interview with Akhila Kochhar, who is a certified pre-primary educator. And she has a handle on Instagram called the Spaceships and Submarines, which deals with a lot of kids' activities and activities that she has created on her own, with things and toys and material available in the readily available in the house to engage her kids, and has beautifully put it across on her Instagram handle. She has two kids, Rudra and Augusta, 3 and a 1 year old. And she's the most calm and composed person that I have come across in my entire mom circle that I have. And every time I have a conversation with her, I actually sit back and introspect myself as to what I need to change in my parenting style with my little daughter. So yes, there. And one interesting bit that I would want to share with anyone is how we met. We actually met in a store about two and a half years back, and have stayed together since then, in and out, as an off and on, with conversation again around kids to get help, information about school admissions, and all of that. That has been one common topic between us every time we have a handover. Akhila has also written on our website. She had written an article for us, again on similar lines, which was to do with a mom and how the girl's journey changes after motherhood and after marriage as well. So, some insights there on that article. So I bring to you here Akhila, and we will today grill her and understand how she remains that calm with two kids, and that to two boys, and what's her mantra with her kids and how she does that magic. So hi Akhila, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Sonia. I mean, the things you've said, I think we don't need to continue the interview after this. I'm overwhelmed.
But
But
that's true.
yeah, well, I guess. So, as you said, that being a mom of two boys, it's not so easy. But I think it all happens if we change our perspective a little bit. And once you start having fun, then there's no holding you back. Then motherhood doesn't seem like a task. It seems like an activity which everyone can enjoy. And I think that's what keeps me going.
All right. So tell me your something about your day. What did you do today, or how was your day placed today, or even otherwise? What's the pattern of your day? How do you divide time between your kids, yourself? How does your day look like in an on an everyday routine?
So in the morning, the kids get up, and of course, both of them. So before that, I'll reveal something. They both sleep with me on my bed, which a lot of people don't really, I think, would agree with me that children should sleep in a crib or in their own room or things like that. So it's I have like the rail on the bed, and it's Agastya, that's my younger one. Then it's me, then it's Rudra, and then it's my husband. And it's every time we shift them to their own room, I think around 1 a.m. we get them back because we can't sleep without them. So the day starts with them waking up, and they usually wake each other up. It depends on who wakes up early. And then they wake us up, and we go down, have breakfast. And it's a very normal day, like we used to have in our childhood. They have their breakfast, and they're running around. It's bath time for them. and before you know it, it's lunchtime, nap time. And I think during their nap time is the time that I get for myself. So I either relax or I catch up on what I need to do for the rest of the week. So like you said, I'm a pre-primary educator. Like I just got certified and I'm pursuing that course further. So then I have my classes, and yeah, the day ends before you know it, mostly with them running around. And all my classmates, since it's COVID times, know Rudra and Agastya very well because they're usually sitting and attending the classes with me. But yeah, it pretty much goes by as quickly as it starts.
And Akhila, how has things changed? Because in your this thing you said both of them are running around and all of that. How has things changed from when it was only Rudra to now the two kids around? Is it that he is more occupied because there is a sibling there? How has things changed for Rudra and you with
So
Agastya coming in?
I'll tell you something. I had this thing in my mind ever since Agastya was born, that I would not keep them away from each other. So they're always together. Even though they don't play together, they're in the same room, so that they're always used to each other's company. And that has really helped me with things because then I don't need to run around. I can just be in the same room and make sure that they're okay under my supervision. So Rudra being the elder one, and he's at an age where he's also exploring, and same with Agastya, he would sometimes knock him over or push him intentionally. But there again, like I said, he's not doing something which is showing that he does not like Agastya. It's just him being a kid. So I don't overreact, because if I overreact, then he's gonna do it more. So instead, I just
Yeah.
tell him, I don't think you should knock him over. Next time, you should be careful when you're running. And I know it's not going to work right now, but in time, it will get registered in his mind that he's not supposed to knock him over, and um, it will get better like that. But other than that, I think when I'm not looking, Rudra actually goes and he hugs and kisses Agastya and tells him really sweet things, which I actually have written about, because I want to keep a small journal for them so that I can make note of these memories for later on. But keeping them together has really helped me, and I think it's helped them as well, because now if ever that day comes where Agastya has woken up before Rudra and has gone down, the first thing Rudra does when he wakes up is, where is Agastya? And I think that really helps a brother bonding as well.
Yeah. So, Akila, after Rudra, you started your handle Spaceships and Submarine. And
Yeah.
initially, I saw you very active, posting very regularly. And I know for a fact that you have taken a back seat there and you're not posting so very regularly. Now, I want to discuss that about that aspect of your work. One, the name is fabulous, and how did you come up with that idea? Second, the activities are really awesome, and I have taken inspiration and even tried some of them at home with my daughter. Honestly, I have. It's a beautiful page, but why are you not doing that right now? And what's your idea behind that?
All right. That's a good question. That's a great question. So I think there was a point of time where I was doing a lot of activities with Rudra, and what started happening is that a lot of my friends and my cousins and some relatives as well wanted to know and wanted a little help with it. Um, a small background I'll give you is that I've always loved children, so I am always interested in the activities they do. They're so much more fun than what we adults do, you know. So I was always into it. So I think it came naturally to me to do all these things with Rudra. So in order to help all of my cousins, I started putting these activities together and started posting about it. And for this, I started Spaceships and Submarines. And what happened is, day after day, I had so many activities already. I used to keep posting about that. And then I started my course because I wanted to get more educated on children, and I really wanted to study child psychology because, of course, it really helps me with the activities that I do as well, to make sure what I'm doing is leading somewhere. And when I started doing my course, I was already spending 2 hours on in for my classes. So I don't get the time to post on Instagram at all anymore. I continue my activities with Rudra, and on my phone right now I have 40 odd activities lined up, ready to be posted, but I don't get the time because honestly, it's all about priorities. The time I get, I spend with my husband when the kids are asleep. We binge watch on our Netflix and we relax. And uh, when I get to the mode, oh, I think I should post something, I'm like, okay, I need to sleep now. So that's why I think it's taken a back seat, because the 2 hours which I used to spend on Instagram have gone towards my education at the moment. And I think once my course finishes, I think by March I should be back on track, because that's my primary focus. I want to help all mothers out there to do all these fun activities for kids with their kids, so they can enjoy that moment of where they cut off from their phone, they cut off from their busy life, and they just spend some 10 minutes with their children where nothing else bothers them, and they're just there bonding with their kids, having a conversation about something as simple as bubbles.
Yeah. I remember the last we had a conversation. You told me that one of the reasons as to why I want to take a back seat from this for some time is because the focus gets away from enjoying that activity with my kid. And at times I get into capturing the moment as much. So I
Yeah,
really want to enjoy that activity with my kids more than to create content for my handle. And I was really was like, yeah, that is something that we forget at times, that
yeah,
in that thing of updating stuff and all of that, we forget that the quality time that we have to spend with our kids and all of that. So
absolutely.
how did you come up with that name? It's a very interesting, a very different name. How did you come up with that fantastic name?
So since I was starting the handle for my son, and I was starting it for the activities that I do with him, I thought about what he loves, and he loves rockets and spaceships. And there's this song by the Beatles, Yellow Submarine. And my son at the time was obsessed with the song, and he would listen to it over and over again. So I thought, what better than to name it Spaceships and Submarines? And spaceships are up in the sky, in the space, and submarines is underwater. So it covers almost everything in between as well. So I think that because that's what I want for my son. I want to be able to explore everything with him. I want to teach him not just about ABCs. That's not what my funda is. I want to teach him about life, about the world. Our planet is beautiful. I want to teach him about everything uh, that our world, our environment captures. So I think that was my main motive of naming it that, like fantasy, which is the spaceships, and reality, which is submarines.
So, Akila, we all suffer on a daily routine with this homeschooling and the pandemic that has happened, and the fact that kids are at home, and engaging kids is like a task. Honestly, any activity you start with, even before it starts, it gets over for them. At times their concentration span is not there, at times they don't want to sit through that activity. You teach them how to write in this thing, and that's another saga that one just can't manage with. So keeping kids busy, and if possible on their own, with like open-ended toys or any other kind of other activities. What is your advice, and how do one, as a mom, one does it? I have been through phases when, and I've just bought everything in the world as toys and given it out, but then that also does not help. So how do we manage with kids?
I feel you when you say that. So I'll tell you, it's a I'll so in the pandemic, a lot of things started happening. Let me tell you one thing which I felt as an educator as well as a parent. When you're doing school on a virtual school, you're sitting with your child and you're listening to what the teacher is saying, and you're continuously waiting for your child to answer. And but in a real life school, the parent is absent and the teacher lets the child be. And what happens when you let your children be is that they're open to answering. But when you're constantly poking your child and you're there in front of them, they won't answer. It's too much pressure for them. It's too much pressure for us. So when we are going to college, imagine our parents going along with us. I mean, that would have been a disaster, I think. So that freedom of exploration for children that they get in school, they're not getting that through homeschool a lot of times, because of the pressure from the parents, the pressure to sit in one place. Because like 3-year-old 4-year-old, they don't sit in classrooms, they are running around, they're exploring. But over here we need to sit in one place. So I actually started, it's just a thing that maybe would help other mothers. I put on the school, virtual school for my son, and it was his wish if he wanted to do the activity or not. I would do the activity. If he wanted to join me, it was up to him. And that really helped. It helped with the tantrums, it helped with him actually wanting to do it. Whereas other activities that are concerned, which we do, which we consider as fun activities with our children, a lot of times they're not in the mood. And I think it's okay. And for that matter, I think we need to first understand our children, leave all the activities and just be with them, observe them, see what they like, and then work on it accordingly. So, if, for example, if the child loves building something, so you can get magnetiles or duplos, Legos, blocks, and just build it with them, help them destroy it. If they like coloring, get them coloring books, drawing books. But if a child does not like coloring and you keep sitting on their head and ask them to color again and again, they're not going to do it. They're not going to enjoy it. They're going to run away from you. So I think
Yeah.
it's all about what the child wants. And whereas if they enjoy an activity, I think the best thing to do is prepare the material beforehand. So that way, when they come in, everything is ready. So you don't spend time concentrating on getting all the material to the table. It's already there. You just concentrate and give your 100% attention to the child, because the second you get distracted, the child will get distracted and they're going to run away from there. So I think that might
How
help.
do you, yeah, and how do you handle the mess? The one word that I picked up from the conversation was mess, because that is one thing I just can't deal with, and the kind of mess that kids create. So,
See, I'll tell you, it's childhood is it goes hand in hand with mess. The more messy the childhood is, the more memorable it is. And I'll tell you something, messes can be cleaned up, but time can't come back. So let them make as much mess as they want. And I think over there, a very good idea is to tell your child, teach your child responsibility, that you can make as much mess as you want, but you have to help me clean it. So even if they pick up one toy, that's a success. So if they have like 40 toys lying and they're just picking up one toy and getting it to the basket, it's a good idea. And I think you also said that uh, getting all toys and everything. So the more toys the child has, the more confused they are. And it's like when you enter your room, if the bed is not made and things are messy, you wouldn't feel comfortable. But if everything is organized, you know your side table has a bottle of water, and you know your charger is right where it's kept, so you would always be more organized. So if you just have 6 toys in the toy room, that's enough. I think a child does not need more than 6 toys, and not those shiny toys which make sounds, or which go round, because a child cannot indulge in those. He can just sit and watch. It's like television. You can just sit and watch. But the toys that actually help their brains grow, where they have to think, like I said, Duplo, even Magnetiles, it's new in the market. It's really good. uh, a doll is really good for children because it's a small baby, they can take care of it. Kitchen toys, that's another very good open-ended toy example. So I think just these toys are enough. Children don't need anything else. My son can pretend a block to be an airplane, he can pretend it to be a car, because it's limited to that many toys. And children will start playing on their own because that's the most natural thing ever. They just have to, like, you just sit in front of them, do your thing. When they ask you a question, answer it. They don't need you to play with them. They don't need anybody to play with them. They're enough.
true, very true. Certain things that I'm also learning and have learned, especially when there was no help around. So
Yeah.
our lives are only, yeah. So another
I
thing that I
think
would do.
what you said right there is the correct thing. When you don't have help around, you will notice this. The thing is, in
Exactly.
Indian households, we have a lot of help. We have the grandmoms, we have the moms, we have the nannies, we have different sorts of helps, joint family. So, everyone is always present. So sometimes the child does not get used to being alone. But yes, like you said, when you don't have help and the child has to be alone, they start playing on their own. So that's the trick. You make sure they get some time when they're on their own, and you'll see the miracle happen.
So, Akhila, how has your perspective in the last 3, 4 years of being a mom changed? As in, has your parenting style changed? Is there certain things that you understood with Rudra that you're now trying with Agastya? Has that brought in any change? Or the fact that you're doing that course and you are now a certified educator, has that brought in any change? How has your parenting style changed over the years?
So I'll tell you, my parenting style is always changing in terms of, and it's also constant, if that makes sense. The way it keeps changing is within me, my mind, what I keep thinking. And the way it's constant is what I portray in front of Rudra. Because if I'm not consistent in my behavior, he will always be confused. So in front of him, I'm always the same, consistent, no matter what turmoil is going inside my head. I try to maintain my cool in front of him. I think there was this very good thing that I read somewhere that really helped me, which said that before you become a mother, think of three good qualities that you have and three bad habits that you have that you don't want your child to have, the bad qualities. And then try your best to show the three qualities in front of your child and to hide the three bad habits that you have. And for me, the quality that I wanted my son to have, one of them was patience. And the second thing, the bad thing in me, which I didn't want my son to have, was laziness. And since I bought that change in me, I bought that change in me so that he does not get that from me. And I think that really helped me. So it helped me in a lot of ways. And as you're talking about changing of that, helped me maintain the constant and the changing styles. So I was a very, very hyper mom in my head. Like, I have to make him eat this, I have to make him eat that. And I think there was this one day that I woke up and I realized that if he's taking for let me give you an example. If he's taking an hour to eat 1.5 paranthi, but he's taking 10 minutes to eat one paranthi, it means he does not want to eat more than one paranthi, because the first 10 minutes of what he eats is what he eats. The next half an hour is just me struggling as a mom. And I think that helped me break it down, that what my son wants and what I want. And once I got that right, that I don't have to impose my wants on him, it really helped me. Because he wants to eat one paranthi, that's it. It's end of story. That day it stopped affecting me and I stopped getting that hyper. Because sometimes we try to make our children do what we want them to do. We don't see what they want to do. Once we see them as a separate entity and we give them the respect that we give other grown-ups, I think it really helps.
Very true. So, Akila, if there are still, as in, I know you're an in control mom, and as I said, a very calm, composed mom. But even then, if I give you a genie, or if I tell you that there is one thing that you would want that genie to handle for you, or take it away from your platter while you're handling it with your kids, what is that one thing would be?
I mean,
This
I
number.
don't think I would want to give anything to anybody, because even when I'm under stress, I want my children to see it so that they're able to understand how to cope with stress. So they understand it's okay to be stressed sometimes. So even if I'm doing a lot of things in front of them, they should know that you can be a multitasker. So I think if the genie takes away my task, I won't be who I am.
Yeah. So, do you think that we at times as moms forget about ourselves and we put all that we have into our kids because yeah, we have that responsibility at the end of the day. Now, how do you create that balance of being a mom and being you?
So of course, I think this is a very, very big drawback of being a mother, that you just simply stop thinking of yourself, and then I think one day it explodes. So I think it's very, very important to take out some me time away from everybody, whether you take a moment to write down something, whether you take a moment to just take a deep breath, paint your nails, soak your feet, anything, even if it's 5 minutes. It, because I think motherhood can be so overwhelming, where everyone is busy comparing their children. You are suffering from mom guilt. You are looking at people doing 10, 20 other things with kids, and then you see these very nicely behaved children who are listening to everything their mothers are saying, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? My child never listens to me. And then you start
I
being, oh,
know.
maybe I'm not a good mother. And but it's such a, once you go downhill, there's no stopping you. Then you go all in and you're just blaming yourself. And I think it's a very, very big drawback of motherhood. And there are not enough support systems, because I think even when we seek advice from our own mothers, they were they were used to dealing with so much more pressure, that they just said us, ye to kuch bhi nahi hai. We had so many more things going on. But we don't realize that sometimes we need a breather, because if I don't take care of myself, there'll be nobody to take care of my children. And if I don't get enough good night's sleep, I'll be irritated throughout the day, which will come out on my children. If I'm hungry, the hunger will come out on my children. So at the end of the day, I can only be a good mom if I love myself first. So I think it's very, very important that we plan our days in a way that either before our children wake up, we give ourselves some time, or once they're gone to bed at night, or during their naps, or just, you, like I said, Indian families are big families, or they always have helps or nannies. Use somebody, tell them to take care of your children for the next 15 minutes where no one can disturb you, so you can at least use the bathroom in peace. I think that's just something that we all mothers really
That's
need to
what,
pledge.
that is really what we want at the end of the day, that we can take a shower for 10 minutes without somebody knocking on the door. Right? So,
Yeah.
happened with me this morning, trust me. So, now, so, Akhila, do you still have any guilt? A mom guilt. A mom guilt is one guilt. We are guilty about something or the other at the end of the day still. Is there
I
one?
have mom guilt
Or you
every
have
single
learned
day.
how to manage that guilt?
The thing is, I realize I'm one person, and I realize I only have 24 hours in the day. And from those 24 hours, I need 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And yes, I need 8 to 10 hours of sleep. I like it. I like my sleep. And I like about an hour just to myself. And that it does not have to be an hour at a stretch. It can just be 5 minutes for my breakfast, 10 minutes for my lunch, and 20 minutes here or there. And that's it. That's enough for me. But yes, I do suffer from mom guilt every single day for different reasons. Maybe some days I go to bed and think I haven't spent enough time, or I didn't do anything productive today, or I could have done this. Especially if I go on Instagram and I see these really awesome mom blogs where mothers are doing so much more. And then I just take a deep breath and look at my children, and I feel that they're the best children for me. I am the best mother for them. And at the end of the day, they're stuck with me. So even if I feel mom guilt or not, uh, I have to be their mother. And I think that helps.
No, no, they can't be stuck with you. I would feel lucky if you were my mom. So no, they're not stuck with you. They're very lucky children that they have you. Um,
That's
are there
really nice
still
to
any
hear.
moments wherein you feel that I'm alone and you need that support and all of that, that you're overwhelmed with the responsibility and it gets on to you?
See, I'll be very honest. I have a good support system about that, for that. And that is my husband, hands down. Where whenever he sees my face and he feels that I'm a little overwhelmed, he takes the children away from me. This is the only reason that they're not in the room right now. It's because my husband has them downstairs. But yes, I was very, for that, I was very clear with him when I was pregnant with my first child. I told him I will do everything to take care of my child once he or she is born. I need you to take care of me, to make sure that I'm not falling into a wormhole or a black hole of things and everything. And I think he was there for that. But that, again, I will say, you need to be vocal as well, because people can only help you once you show them that you need help. For that, you need to be vulnerable in front of them. And yeah, I think for that you do need a strong support system, whether it's a friend, whether it's your mother, whether it's your mother-in-law, whether it's your nanny even. But
Mm.
yes, I think as mothers we definitely need a very, very strong support system, because we are just a one-man army, and raising a child requires an entire village.
Yeah, it does. Uh, so, Akila, parenthood can't be all dull and boring and all about stress and all of that. So, what are your good times and the times that you enjoy the most with your, or a fun day that you have had and you remember that everything did not matter and we had a blast? And that is where we also realize at times that no, we are in a happy space. We all moms crib, but we do have those days of realization when we look at a baby and we say, no, this is something that we wanted and it is great. So, what is it? Is it all dull moments? It's interesting.
See, like you said, Sonia, we can even make the dull moments interesting. It depends on our perspective. So let me give you an example. Like if you're changing a diaper and you're just changing it, and you'll think, "I फिर से diaper change हो रहा है, ये है वो है." That's just a one-off. But now if you make it into a conversation with your child, whereas when you're changing the diaper and you're like, "Again you've pooped, and that's a stinky one. Oh my God, you're just like your dad." It's it becomes funny. It becomes fun. It's you're making your life more positive even when it's in a rut. So a lot of it depends on how much you can convince yourself that everything is fun. And when you were talking about what's the most fun moment that I remember, on the top of my head, I think it was when I let my notions of water play go, because I was very insecure about it, letting my son play with water, he'll catch a cold. And especially, you know how Indian mothers are. So my mom, my mother-in-law, they were all like, pani se khel raha hai, ye ho jayega, wo ho jayega. And I think this one day we were doing a water table play and he wet his clothes and I didn't care. And I took the water hose and I completely wet him. And we had this water fight and I was drenched, he was drenched. And that was the best day of our life. So, and that made me realize when we let go of that whole notion, we'll get wet, we'll get messy. It doesn't matter, clothes can be changed, we can be dried. But these moments, and I think after that, just as that day was over, a few weeks later, monsoon hit and we ran out in the rain. And that was only because I was able to let go of those notions of, he'll get sick. It's okay if he gets sick, he'll get better in 3 days. But these memories will stay with me forever. It'll stay with him forever. So I think that was one of uh, the memories that I
And
remember.
for all the moms who would listen to this, you will have a lot to take back and relook into this thing. And that's exactly what we wanted to bring forward. What is your one message to all the moms out there who are struggling with kids at home, or they feel that they are struggling? What they need, what's that one thing that they need to change, and what is that message that you would want to give them?
Um, See, I don't think I would want anyone to change anything, but yes, I would like for everyone to take a step back and do some self reflection. Just reflect on, are we expecting too much out of our children? Are we putting too much pressure on them? In today's world, it's become like a rat race that my child has to be the best at everything. Teach them this, teach them all the animals, teach them all the colors, all everything. But the thing is, when is the moment where you actually spend time with your child to just have fun or to enjoy? Because, this is an opportunity for us to be children again, for us to enjoy those innocent moments and let go of all that life has in store for us, to just pause and relax. But because I think we get so stressed about things that we're not able to unplug ourselves. I think the best thing Like you said, in advice, I would like everyone to give everyone, or to the mother especially, is to not get overwhelmed, um, and to just enjoy, observe what their children are doing, and be happy with them, tickle them, kiss them, hug them, enjoy the small moments, enjoy their laughter. Remember that, because they're only going to grow up now.
Fabulous, Akla. That was really insightful. That I'm sure had a lot of small things that you said in between, but that's actually the mom wisdom that we are looking at. That's it's at the end of the day, it is not about being perfect or raising up the perfect kids. It's the journey. It is like being together and enjoying that journey. Is the message that we should take back from this one. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking our time today. I know you are a busy mom, and yeah, taking out this half an hour also is a struggle at time. Thank you so much for giving us that time and sharing all the information with us. There.
My
Thank you so much.
pleasure. Thank you to you,
I
Sonia, for
love this.
having me.
In fact, it was a great time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Same here.
And with this, we will wrap the session here. We will bring to you next week another mom journey, another mom story, and another mom's perspective. So do to tune in next week. Saturday is when we will be doing our next live and bring to you some more stories that you can learn from. And yeah, and just balance that stress out and take out that stress out of your life with these small stories and certain reminders that all us moms that we need to give to ourselves every now and then. So till we meet again, this is me signing off, and take care and have a fantastic week ahead.